Well, thank you very much. Good afternoon, and good afternoon to your viewers at home. Well, we are noting the court decision to reserve the judgment. We know very well that we've got a solid case there, whether it can sit in Johannesburg or wherever in the country. There is nothing that is going to change the facts. And definitely the court is also looking at that to ensure that they seek the truth from the facts. We really appreciate and welcome that decision of the court. On the issues that are also happening out there, from where we are seated, the NEC had a process on the issue which culminated into the NEC decision that was taken in March, where the NEC recognized the PEC and agreed that it's setting aside the report in terms of the discussion that took place in the NEC. So any members of the ANC who still belong to the ANC and who regard the NEC as the highest decision-making body, as actually it is enshrined in our constitution, that should not be a problem. So other people who then continue beyond that, who take ANC to court simply because they are not happy with an NEC decision. Clearly, those are people who are not here to help the ANC move forward, but who are helping to ensure that ANC is distracted and ANC is not readying itself for the elections that are to come next year.
All right,
so we are not shaken, we are not shocked about it. We remain firm and solid. We are leading this province, and we are going to put our foot down to ensure that we continue leading for every member who feels comfortable to remain in the ANC, to remain in the ANC, embrace every member, provide leadership, not only for certain factions or grouping, but for every member of the ANC in the province. We are the PEC, that has been recognized by the NEC, that has been elected by the conference of the ANC, legitimately convened by the then PEC here in the province.
So since you're talking about taking the organization forward, what do you have to say about the Ndebele report recommending that you and Phumulo Masualle lead the organization in unification and healing, a healing process in the interim while this matter is sorted out?
You're cutting out. I didn't hear the latter part of your question. But there is no way that me and Comrade Phumulo will be then recommended to lead the province. Comrade Phumulo has been elected by the National Conference. He is now an NEC member, so there is no way that he will leave that responsibility and come back and lead the province. I'm the chairperson of the province, elected by the conference, which has now been recognized since March this year by the National Executive Committee. So there is no confusion there. People who continue confusing themselves and give false hope to some people, those are really unfortunate people. We are aware about certain elements within the organization, even up there, who are busy working to collapse, who are plotting the PEC, working with certain elements in our province. But we're not really focusing on that. Those are side issues that seek to distract us. We have a responsibility here. We must rise to the occasion, unite ANC, prepare ANC for the 2019 national election, and we are not going to be really taken away from that main focus that the ANC must definitely achieve. So we are aware about such kind of other things, but we still saying every member of the ANC who respects the ANC constitution, the process actually was taken to its logical conclusion by the National Executive Committee. We've got no other level. So it's fine for people to go to court if they still feel aggrieved on the NEC decision. But now the court has reserved this judgment. We're going to wait for that court. Unfortunately, the court, the case today was about NEC, not about us as a province. We're an interested party. We were not in the court. We thought that we should have also be given a space to be listed as respondents so that we can also file our papers as interested parties. But we still believe that when that time comes, we will be able to get into a space and argue our case as well from a PEC point of view. But our lawyers were very strong and firm. We've got nothing to be worried about. We just not nervous about the court today, but we'll wait for judgment to come.
But your name was brought up because the Ndebele Appeals Panel report was brought up in this case in court today, and that report recommends that the PEC, led by yourself, be suspended.
Yes, remember the Ndebele Commission was set up by the NEC to go and investigate that matter and interact. We don't want to speak about the process itself because we still believe that the process itself was very flawed. The committee itself never done justice on it in terms of giving people an opportunity. Those who were really participants. In the conference, 90% were branches of the ANC. They only interviewed 10%. The PEC, former and the current PEC, they then produced a report, which still remains a very kind of a funny arrangement, which we don't understand. Whatever case it is, that those were recommendations to the NEC. NEC remain a structure that must take decision about organizational matters. The NEC took a decision in March, having seen that report, having interacted with the report, having interacted with the committee itself led by Comrade Smu. So we have passed that stage. Now we've got an NEC decision that has actually given a clarity on the matter in the organization, national and provincial, so there is no confusion about that. Those recommendations would remain recommendations. They still need an NEC to take a decision. The NEC has taken that decision already, and that's a clarity that we have.
Have you really passed this stage, though, when you have 30 branches taking you to court challenging your leadership?
Obviously, that is going to be a process. The unity issue has never been an event. We are going to go through to ensure that we work on the development of the political trust amongst comrades and members of the ANC in the province. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we must suspend the constitution of the ANC. All structures of the ANC are able to exercise their political leadership using the constitution of the ANC, and all members must respect that constitution of the ANC first. So that is going to be a process. We know exactly. We are not under any illusion that we've got a challenge of uniting ANC, not only in the Eastern Cape, but national. We are working very hard. Even in the national conference, we had this kind of consternations, tensions, and divisions that were showing themselves. Everywhere we see those issues showing their ugly heads every day. We will continue soldiering on, meeting, because we are elected, and we must actually provide leadership for the next 4 years and unite ANC. And uniting ANC is not just an easy thing to do. ANC is a very big organization. It's a very diverse, with all sorts of interest in it. An organization with a kind of a multi-ideological attitude within itself. So definitely we are going to invest some time as the leadership of the province, see to it, we reach out, we extend an olive branch, we embrace every member. But we are not going to entertain people who are in the ANC but are planning to do something against the ANC. Because if you continue being permanently disgruntled, it's something else. We're dealing with another thing. There. So we're not really dealing with genuine members of the ANC. Genuine members of the ANC cannot work in such a way that ANC is collapsed.
How do you unite the ANC in the Eastern Cape when your leadership is being challenged, though?
We are a recognized leadership. We are recognized by the NEC. Whether we are challenged in court, it's something else. Remember, here in the Eastern Cape, we have gone to court for more than 15 times. Even on this conference, we have been in court more than 3 or 4 times. We have always emerged out of those courts because we have a detail of what took place. And any court of law that gets presented with details, then that will be the case. Today, they were just dealing with the issues of technicalities. The merits of the case itself are still to come. We will be ready even then, but we have a responsibility political, not now through the jurisprudence, but deal with issues political and provide the leadership that seeks to take ANC forward. But those members must appreciate and recognize that there's an NEC decision that says in the Eastern Cape there's a PEC that must lead. The unity is a reciprocal exercise. It's not going to depend on the leadership only to unite with people who are not prepared to help the ANC to move forward. We've got a responsibility to ensure that we navigate this through working with every member of the ANC, disgruntled or not, to ensure that we move forward. Because we are preparing for regional conferences. We have people who are disgruntled in the provincial. They continue to be disgruntled out of the national. They will still be disgruntled out of the regional conference. It can't work like that.
Yeah.
So it just tells the problem that is deeper and the problem of members who are members of other members. Now you must work it deeper politically in terms of institutionalizing your political education program, help liberate members of the ANC to be members of the organization, not to be members of other members. Yes, stakes are high. People want to be in power. We've got a problem of this rapacious behavior of everyone who wants to be in power by hook or crook. We are not going to allow those things. ANC remains an organization that belongs to its membership, and its membership will forever determine the leadership of the ANC through the democratic processes of the ANC.
Now, lastly and very quickly, because I've run out of time, you yourself say you've been taken to court 3 or 4 times around the same issue. You seem very unaffected by these challenges. Is it really all that peachy in the ANC in the Eastern Cape?
Remember, when you are elected to lead, and you don't have the luxury of being angry with other people who lost the conference. You have got a responsibility of making them feel at home. It's not happening only in the Eastern Cape, it's happening everywhere, this thing of being in court. But in court, we go to defend the dignity of the ANC and explain what the ANC constitution says for any judge to apply his or her mind. So we are working along those lines. The last court appearance we had in Grahamstown, it was a full bench, 3 judges who really listened to the merits of what took place in the Eastern Cape. And those 3 judges were convinced that this was a conference duly convened in terms of the ANC constitution. So we continue defending that, but we know it's not going to help us to remain in court, winning court cases. The issue is about a maximum unity. ANC is about a unity. It's about uniting, and that unity becomes sacrosanct. It's about uniting our people. It's about liberating our people for the non-racial, non-sexist, democratic and prosperous society. We are working towards that fundamental goal. Whatever that we do, if the ANC remains paralyzed, remains in court challenge, it also speaks volume. We need, as leadership, to rise to the occasion under very difficult challenges, sometimes even through court of law, but to prove that as leadership, we are doing everything possible. We have done everything right. Because you must not abuse the authority of the ANC because you are elected and you are a leader. As a leader, you have got an extra mile. The people who take ANC to court have got nothing to lose except to further certain individual ambitions. When you are in leadership elected in a conference, you don't have that. Your interest must always not supersede the interest of this gigantic organization called African National Congress.
Okay.
This is an asset that belongs to South Africans.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. ANC Eastern Cape's Chairperson, Oscar Mabuyane.